Hello there everyone and welcome to another episode of All About a Fursuiter, the series where we interview furries. Get to know a little bit more about the furry fandom, one fursuiter at a time. Yes, boy. I want to thank everyone for enjoying last week's interview, or actually technically 2 weeks ago's interview with JJ Dingo. That was so much fun, honestly. I had a lot of fun interviewing him. It was a lot of fun being around him. It was so much fun. So thank you all so much for enjoying that interview. It was a blast interview. It was a blast to get to know him better. And yeah, anyway, with that being said, this week's interview, or this time's interview, we're going to be interviewing a person with 3 fursuits, 3 personas, and 3 different characters. That is Ryv, Lerks, and Kyrie. I know, a new one. Never done something like this before. It's going to be a lot of fun. As always, we'll ask them 5 questions, and we'll get to know a little bit more about them. So without further ado, let's get into it, boy. The first question I have for you, my dude, is what inspired you to start a YouTube channel?
Hey, it's Lerks here. Well, YouTube was kind of how I finally got involved in the furry fandom. I started watching Majira and Nos Hyena and Hawthorne Fox and Fjord Frost and kind of that group of YouTubers right around the time their channels were really starting to grow. And I was thinking to myself, well, if I'm going to be part of this furry fandom, how can I give back to the fandom? What can I do to be involved in it? And I knew I could involve music somewhat, but it immediately struck me that, hey, I can do YouTube. I see what these guys are doing. I can definitely do that. And I was into still photography at the time, so I was lucky enough to have a pretty nice DSLR camera to get started with. And once I did a few YouTube videos, it really became addictive. I really wanted to do more and more. I kept thinking about more topics, and people kept asking me questions. And I saw my subscriber count start to go up and realized that people really wanted to see this, and that I could be a good, positive influence in the fandom.
You know, I have to admit that it's pretty awesome. There are definitely a lot of people who inspired me as well. You know, there's a lot of cool people out there, a lot of inspiration on YouTube. I have to admit, one of the people who actually inspired me to make a YouTube channel in general is Markiplier. Out of all people, I know, right? You would think it'd be someone like Majira or Vix or someone like that, but no, it was Markiplier of all people. I'll tell that story on a later video, but no, definitely Markiplier. Markiplier's just awesome, you know? Boy. But yeah, you're really awesome, man. It's really, really cool how all of them inspired you. It's really cool. That's awesome. Yes. On to the second question now, and that is, what are some cool facts about your personas?
So, some cool things about my personas. Let's start off with Kyrie. She's the newest one. She was actually an adopt. She was part of a matching pair of characters. One was an otter, one was a wolf, but their colors were the same. They were called Mango Otter and Mango Wolf. Now, they were owned by a couple who didn't really use them that much, and they came available for sale. I really wanted another suit from that maker, and I jumped on the opportunity. I honestly got the otter because the suit fit me better than the wolf would have. So then I got to thinking, and I decided, wouldn't it be nice to have a female character in our little group? So I changed Mango from a he to a her, and renamed her Kyrie, after the Mr. song. I quickly discovered that I couldn't really do a female voice very well, so I decided she would become a squeaker, and that's why she doesn't talk. I can't wait to debut her at a con sometime soon, once I have a few alterations done to the suit to make her fit me a little bit better. The chest is super tight right now, because the guy who originally commissioned her was very thin. So on to our 2 main personas, Ryv, which is this one, or Ryv, and Lerks. We are actually a fantasy species. While we may look like foxes or wolves or some type of canine, we're actually our own species called Varan. Now, the way this came about is that these characters sort of developed alongside a literary project I was working on. As I developed this world, I realized that I really didn't want the anthropomorphic characters to just be earthly animals. I wanted them to be something different. They almost had to be something different. They had to have their own continent, their own culture, their own name. They just had to be so unique that it really got to the point where I had to create an original species. It wasn't one that was created like, oh, I want wings that look like this, and I want horns that look like this, and I want it to be magical and do this and that. It was kind of born out of necessity. And now we have our own species. If you notice the facial markings are very much the same in both Ryv and Lerks. If somebody actually wants to make one of these characters, well, let me know, and I'll give you some of the rules.
You know, I actually didn't know that about KOREY. That is really fascinating, you know? It's really awesome, wow. I actually really find it fascinating that Ryv and Lerks are their own species, variant. That is really cool. Fun fact about Benji, he actually has the ability to turn into any species he wants. So a man is turning him into a variant. Like recently he has Benji the Beagle, Benji the Manokid, Benji the Circle, and also Benji the Protogen. So who knows, I may turn into Benji the variant. I'll hit you up on that, my dude. Yes. Now on to the third question, my dude. And that is, what got you into your love of music? Yeah.
My favorite thing about music is it's a universal language. You could put 100 people together that spoke 100 languages and play a piece of music, and the language differences wouldn't matter. It would just be the music and how it inspired each individual person and what they heard in it and what they thought it meant. Music, like visual art, is amazing like that. It's a form of communication that doesn't require any previous understanding. Music has been a source of creativity for me, somebody who is not gifted as a visual artist. Drawing, painting, that sort of thing just aren't me. I'm sure I could learn to do it eventually if I really tried, but I don't have thousands of hours to do that. So my main expression of my creativity is through music, specifically guitar and bass. But, I play around with a few other instruments as well. It's relaxing, it's inspiring, and it can certainly be frustrating at times too. It's one of those things where it takes a lot of input to get a good output. It takes years and years and years of practice. And if you're one of the few that sticks to it to the point where you really get some level of mastery of the instrument, it's that much more rewarding because you worked that hard and you got the results you were looking for. Of course, most of us will never get as good as we want to, but it's nice to be at the point where I can collaborate with other people. People appreciate my music. People think I'm a pretty good player. Very satisfying.
You know, I have to admit, that is really cool. Music is basically art. Music is just a really fun way to interact with each other. It is a passion for some people, not for me, but I know for you for sure. And that is really cool, dude. I'm happy you found a passion you love. I'm happy you found something you're good at. That is really cool. I know a lot of furries out there are musicians, and definitely it's really cool that they're going for something they do. I know there's a lot of furry singers, there's a lot of furry guitarists like you yourself. So really, keep going at it, keep being awesome, keep being positive. Keep going at it, man. That's awesome. That really is awesome. Yeah. And now, on to the fourth question now. I think that's a 4. Yeah, that's a pretty good 4. Now on to the fourth question now, and that is, what is your least favorite food? I have to admit that squeaker, dude, that squeaker, that is so cool. That is really cool. But yeah, black olives, I have to admit I like them a little too much. Don't want to gross anyone out here, but actually drink the black olive juice out of the can. I know that definitely doesn't appeal to anyone. Like, I'm probably the only one in the world that actually does that, honestly. But that's how much I love black olives. But yeah, also, I can understand liver though. Liver's not that good. I don't like liver. Ugh, no. But I understand that. No, black olives, it's not for everyone. However, I freaking love black olives so much. I can't believe I just revealed that. But no, seriously, black olives the best. I understand people hating them though. They're not for everyone. Most people in the world actually, I think, hate them. They're one of the most hated things out there. So, understandable, man. Keep being awesome. I love the squeaker. Yes. Now on to the fifth and final question, my dude. And that is, what are some positive things that have kept you going in life?
Well, I guess the most positive thing in life that's kept me going is the fandom itself. I really didn't have much before the fandom. All I did was work and go home and watch TV or get online. I had no social life whatsoever. It was really boring. I'd known about the furry fandom for a long time, but I didn't really have any interest in getting involved with it until I started watching furry YouTube. And then I realized, hey, this is for me. This is who I am. I have so many friends now that I never would have had otherwise. I actually have a social life. I talk to people every day. I go to conventions. It's just been amazing. It's been a life-changing experience being involved with the fandom. It encouraged me to start playing music again. And I don't think I would be a very exciting person if I hadn't joined the fandom. I mean, I would just be the same boring person that sat there, went to work, came home, and did nothing else. And that would kind of suck. So I'm really glad I discovered this fandom. It's been the #1 thing that's inspired me and brought out my creativity. And I just love it, and I will be part of this fandom as long as the fandom exists.
I have to admit, the fandom is definitely a big one for me too. The fandom, honestly, if it wasn't for the fandom, I would have no idea where I'd be right now. I probably wouldn't be on my own. I probably wouldn't be living life the way I am now. So I really have to thank the fandom. The fandom has been a huge positive influence on my life. Don't get me wrong. There has been some negative things with the fandom in my life, but overall it's just been a huge positive influence. And I'm really happy it's been a positive influence on you too, my dude. That is just amazing. Yeah. Overall, keep being awesome, man. Keep being positive. Keep being that positive influence you say, and just keep being amazing, my dude. Keep going at it. Keep going at it. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I want to give a big thanks to Ryv, Lerks, and Kyrie for being on this interview. For those who are wondering, they are the same person. I'm not interviewing 3 people. They are the same person. So be sure to check their YouTube channel out or their Twitter. I'll leave those links in the description down below. Be sure to check them all out. Really amazing people. They do a really amazing content. Yeah, be sure to check them all out. They do a really cool stuff. Yes. I think recently they hit 5,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel, so really amazing. Congrats to them. Thank you all so much for watching this interview. It means a lot. If you guys did enjoy this, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, turn on notifications. But as for always, I bid you a good farewell.